Sabe aquela história? Tempos difíceis produzem homens fortes? Eu acho que é a definição dessa situação. Tempos dificílimos produziram pessoas muito fortes, que geraram um impacto tão grande que nós hoje ainda, no século XXI, vivemos isso. Vamos continuar a jornada? Fica com a gente aí. Okay, so they arrived in Plymouth. There was that terrible winter. Half of them died, and then 1621 comes, and what happens then?
I think it was in April of 1621 that captain of the Mayflower, he needed to return home. He had done his requirement. He had brought them to the New World, and he offered to give them any one passage back after their dreadful winter where half of them died. And a remarkable statement that was probably hard for us to understand these days. With their lives, they made a statement. Not one of them went back. So half of them were there for religious reasons, you could say. They wanted to preserve the life of the soul for their children. Half of them were there to get a new start, to possess land perhaps, to find wealth. They were tradesmen, merchants, they were different kinds of people. But together, they all stayed. Not one of them returned. And so there's a Mr. William Bradford. He writes in this book of Plymouth Plantation, he writes of what they faced, and it's good to consider now and then what they went through. Being thus past the vast ocean, and a sea of troubles before in their preparation, they had now no friends to welcome them, nor inns to entertain or refresh their weather-beaten bodies, no houses, much less towns to repair to seek for succor. The season, it was winter, and they that know the winters of that country know them to be sharp and violent, and subject to fierce and cruel storms, dangerous to travel to known places, much more to search an unknown coast. Besides, what could they see but a hideous and desolate wilderness, full of wild beasts and wild men, and what multitudes there might be of them they knew not. Neither could they go on high to see a view. If they looked behind them, there was a mighty ocean which they had passed, and was now a main bar and gulf to separate them from all civil parts of the world. So they left everything behind in search of the reality that they probably couldn't even begin to see, of a life where they were free to practice their religious faith. And I don't know what they thought of the strangers in their midst. They were saints. They didn't call themselves pilgrims, but once in all their early writings, these were the saints and the strangers. And so I don't know what hopes the saints had, but we'll get a picture of it as we go through the narration. But their courage was once well appreciated in this country and around the world. Times change, the narrative changes, has a new set of historians and others take the reins of education. But as for us, we appreciate these men and women and their courage.